How's it going, everyone? Got quite a lot to talk about in this video. Super exciting news as one of the major games of 2024 will finally be making its way on over to PlayStation 5 later this year. Looks like the one-year timed exclusivity deal is coming to an end as Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl has been officially announced for PlayStation 5. Brief trailer, but I'll give you guys some thoughts on that and a bit of an update on the layoffs that happened at Microsoft. One studio looks to be trying to secure funding and a publisher so they can get their game to the finish line. We'll talk that at the end of this video. But right off the bat, yes, Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl officially announced for PlayStation 5. Just a very brief announcement trailer for the game. Very well done, I thought, as far as the way that they announced it. Now, they do note that with Stalker 2, it will be released on PlayStation 5 and it'll fully utilize the DualSense controller features, including haptic feedback and adaptive triggers for deeper player immersion. Further technical enhancements for the PS5 Pro are also in development. I would imagine that those further enhancements are going to be available right out the gate when Stalker 2 drops on PlayStation 5. Now, I would not get it twisted. If you think that, oh, on PlayStation 5, I have a PS5 Pro and I'll be picking up Stalker 2, that should really eliminate all the performance issues and the technical issues. You're kidding yourself. Stalker 2 is continually getting updated. I'm sure it'll get more updates leading into its PlayStation 5 release, and it'll get better versus what it was at launch. However, if you're expecting this to be a completely smooth experience on PS5 or PS5 Pro, you are kidding yourself. If you're buying Stalker 2, go into it with the mindset that, hey, this game is gonna have a little jank to it. It's gonna have some issues to it from a technical standpoint. I played through the game on PC and I had a great time with it. Did I encounter some technical issues? Yeah, but surprisingly, some of these games that I've recently played on PC, my experience with them have not been as bad as some other people. Like Stalker 2, I had a very good time with. Monster Hunter Wilds, my experience on PC was kind of decent as well, playing some of that game on PC, and both those games were kind of disastrous. Monster Hunter Wilds even more so, but my experience with Spider-Man 2 was absolutely chaos. So, playing through Stalker 2, I had an incredible time with the game in terms of the immersion, the atmosphere, which, if you're going into Stalker 2, that should be what you're going into this game for. The atmosphere in this game, the tension in the game, incredible, remarkable. They knocked it out of the park as far as that's concerned. Does the game have a little bit of jank to it? Does it have some bugs to it? Yeah, absolutely. Even though I would say my experience was fairly good, that's saying it relative to the wider experience that a lot of people on PC had. But hopefully on PlayStation 5 it'll be relatively optimized and we can get a pretty good experience. Obviously it was available on Xbox as well. I mean, it ran on the Xbox Series S, so it should be fine on the PlayStation 5, relatively speaking, and hopefully the PS5 Pro version does get some enhancements. All I'm saying is don't expect it to eliminate all of the issues across the board. And would I be spending $60 on this game? Probably not. Any game that comes out at a one-year delay, you have to be a little bit critical on whether or not you want to spend $60 on it. Look, a lot of people spend $60 on Stellar Blade on PC, and that came out on a one-year delay. Would I spend $60 on Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl, let's say if it comes out in October with a billion other games coming out? If it's the style of game that'll be totally right up your alley, fine, but I hope what they do is they release Stalker 2 on PlayStation 5, and right off the bat, they have like a launch discount, like 30% off for $42. That's literally the discount that's being offered on the Steam page for the Steam Summer Sale. I would love that. Generally speaking, I feel like we don't see that. We just see games get ported over, and then eventually they'll go on sale, but that initial period, they stay at that same price point. Forza Horizon 5, $60. Indiana Jones The Great Circle, $70. We didn't get any kind of discount right off the rip. It'd be nice with Stalker 2 if it was down to $42, even $45 or $48, let's say if they want to do a 20% off discount, or they do a 20% off discount. I would appreciate that, but, you know, I'm not expecting that either. But the game is great, sizable amount of content as well. If you want to take your time and do everything, definitely a good undertaking, but not overwhelming. It's not like this 200-hour experience or 150-hour experience. You could get into it and have a good 40, 45, maybe 50 hours. Like 40 hours, I think, is the sweet spot for an open world game like this. And if you take your time, do some of the side content, you'll get a solid 40-ish hour experience out of it. Now, if you really take your time and do absolutely everything, it'll take quite a lot longer. And how long to beat actually as a completionist run around the 135-hour range. So it could be quite an undertaking, but in terms of a regular playthrough, it's not going to be something that takes you 150, 200 hours if you just go through the main story and do some of the side content. But Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl coming to PlayStation 5 later this year. Very excited about that, and you should be too. That's another game added to that fall calendar of game releases, which is already looking incredibly stacked. I mean, you've got Ghost of Yotei coming out as a big open world game. Throw in Stalker 2 on there. That's a pretty good 1-2 punch as far as open world experiences go. Moving on from that, a lot of talk around Microsoft and the chaos over there. One note to make is that Romero Games was being funded by Microsoft in doing a new first-person shooter. Romero Games has now put out a post. They are not defunct. They noted, "We want to address the recent reports regarding the status of Romero Games. These reports have contained inaccuracies, and we feel it's important to set the record straight. The funding for our project was pulled, and our game was canceled. Due to confidentiality agreements, we cannot disclose the publisher's identity, though some may infer it from public information." I mean, there you go with that. As a result, we now have to reassess the entire staffing of our studio. Romero Games is not closed, and we are doing everything in our power to ensure that it does not come to that. Any suggestion otherwise is factually incorrect. Indeed, we were in the studio today to discuss the next steps with the team. We've been contacted by several publishers interested in helping us bring the game across the finish line, and we're currently evaluating those opportunities. We appreciate outpouring of support, and we'll share further updates as we're able to. That is coming from Romero Games, and again, they are working on a first-person shooter that the word going around was it was at a fairly good state, and it was very fun to play. So we'll see if they can make it to the finish line, if they're already in contact with various publishers to get it to the finish line. You're talking about a publisher coming on board to a game that's already in progress, and I don't know how close to the finish line they are, but it doesn't sound like they'll take 3 to 5 years to get this game out. Hopefully, a major publisher comes on board, they can get this game to the finish line, and they can get it out. I will say it'll be pretty hilarious if Sony came to the table and then they ended up publishing the game. I mean, how much money do you have to pour into the game to get it to the finish line? I think that could be pretty cool. If they ended up making the game reality, hopefully some publisher does come on board and help this whole situation out. I think this Microsoft situation has been chaos. I mean, everybody's already talked about it. The one that probably hit home with me the most was Turn 10 being absolutely wiped out, or being transitioned into a support studio, and Forza Motorsport being killed off. Look, think what you want about the new Forza Motorsport, but Forza Motorsport has been a pillar of Microsoft, and that franchise being shut down. And yeah, Forza Horizon will be continuing, but Motorsport was a great time as well, and man, it's just terrible. It's terrible. Of course, all of the lives being affected, it goes without saying, that is absolutely terrible. But also, from the standpoint of just all of these great studios being affected as well, and so many that had games in development. Perfect Dark being outright canceled, and The Initiative, a studio that was established to be this, oh, look at Microsoft, they're building a studio from the ground up, here to do a major game release. 7 years out the window, gone with the wind. Just a awful, awful situation, and, you know, there's a lot that could be said about it, and I think a lot of other people that can dissect this situation better than me from a business standpoint are doing that, but just from my standpoint of enjoying video games, man, it's terrible, and I've already said my piece on Game Pass and everything like that. Just hope that Romero Games can find a publisher and get their game to the finish line. But that is gonna do it for me. Again, Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl coming to PlayStation 5 later this year. Super excited for that. That is gonna be a great release. Just keep in mind, even if you have a PS5 Pro, you guys, this is not going to eliminate all of the technical issues with the game. Hopefully it makes, you know, some of the performance aspects a bit better, higher resolution, things of that nature, but the game is still gonna have some technical issues, let's be honest here. And Romero Games still looking to get their game to the finish line. Hopefully they can find a publisher to jump on board with and get their game done. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.